April 13th, 2021. I'm Tulio Siragusa, broadcasting from Southern California, and I'm joined today by Carlos Ponce in Cuernavaca, Mexico. Hi, Carlos.
Pleasure to be here, Tulio.
And our guest, John Vitti, who is chiming in from San Francisco. Hi, John. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Tulio. Hey, Carlos. Thanks for having me.
John,
it's a pleasure to have you here.
Yes. John is with VersusGame. We might have another co-host joining us soon. I think she got disconnected for a second, so I'll introduce her in advance. It's Mariel Navarro, who's from Chihuahua, Mexico. So hopefully she'll join us shortly. But anyway, John's with VersusGame, and we're going to have an interesting conversation today about getting rewarded for like what you know. So let's look into that. But before we do, John, please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thanks for having me. Originally from Boston. Actually, let me get some props to where props is due. I always like throwing out my family, because without them, I'd be nothing. So my parents, my mom and dad, were born on and raised on a farm in Italy. Like no electricity, no running water. They came over here on a boat. And they were really lazy, so they went to New York and then just stopped in Boston. And that's where they had me. And the day after I graduated college, I came to California, which I wish they would right away instead. But alas, I'm finally here in San Francisco. I love it here. And I'm kind of one of those entrepreneurs that like to start a bunch of things. And hopefully some of them worked and some of them I know haven't. I started 4 companies before this one. My first 2 failed miserably, and my last 2 I successfully exited. And this VersusGame, which I started, I launched 2 years ago with my co-founder Vish Kumar and my CTO, has been amazing adventure and journey. So yeah, I'm excited to chat with you about that. But that's a little bit.
Fun. Thanks for the background. Appreciate it. Hey, New York, Boston, San Francisco, those are typical stops for Italian heritage folks. So anyway, hey, if you're going to fail miserably, right? So tell us about VersusGame. What gave birth to this idea? What do you guys do?
The genesis behind, VersusGame is a prediction game where you get paid for being right. We're letting people predict the outcome of their favorite brands, celebrities, TV show songs, whatever's happening in the universe. They get to play for fun and for free, or play for cool prizes and cash prizes. And the genesis behind it is that we consume so much content all day long, all of us. We can't stop. It's fun. It's from that we naturally form opinions and predictions off of that content. It's primal for us. It's our reptilian part of our brain. It's fun. We can't stop. So you might have thought like Airbnb is a crazy idea, letting a stranger in your house, or Meg Thee Stallion's going to be a huge hit and win the Grammys and whatever's going to happen on Cobra Kai, right? But did you get rewarded or paid for any of that? Probably not. So our mission is simple. Knowledge should be rewarded. And we're doing that by creating a fair and fun game for everybody.
Plus, it's fun to show off what you know, right? With the whole world.
Yeah, we love this stuff. We can't stop. So
I didn't even know you guys existed. I'm gonna have to download this. It's dangerous. You guys may never see me again playing that game. So
hey, John, the knowledge should be rewarded. You just gave me an idea for a t-shirt. Okay, I'll just print 1 million and sell them and become rich.
You got it for a tattoo.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right.
Exactly.
So, let's introduce the topic today. Let's go right into it. Carlos, please.
Absolutely.
What are we talking about today?
Yeah, Tulio, thank you. So today we're going to be speaking about prediction gaming apps taking the world by storm. And we're also going to be elaborating on the reasons why knowledge should be rewarded. So with that being said, thank you, John, for being with us today. Tell us, John, why did you choose this particular topic and why did you feel it was relevant for today's day and age?
I think people, it's all about a creator economy where everybody is their own kind of micro influencer, or there's some big influencers as well, but we're all creating our own content, right? We're all consuming that content, and everyone is trying to make money, right? It's like, let's just get directly to that point. Every influencer out there, every person posting on social media, they're doing it for small fame, but also some small fortunes. Some are doing it for a much bigger amount of money, right? But it's hard to monetize your knowledge, right? And so that's why we're doing this. We are the ones consuming all this stuff. We're the ones using all these apps, products, and services. We're the ones that should be rewarded as well.
Absolutely. Look, I mean, people have been getting paid for their knowledge in the business world for many, many years, right? But for, what some people in business might call useless information, it's something that's, pop culture is a big thing for a lot of people. So what is typically the mix of players that use this application? Is there an age group versus another, or is it broad? Tell us a little bit about the demographics.
Yeah, it changes. It's kind of a mirror to whatever's happening in the world. So when it was all about like Trump or COVID or GameStop, or Super Bowl, it always kind of fluctuates. But on average, it's 18 to 35-year-olds. We have a pretty good mix of men and women, but women actually win more on our game because they're more detail-oriented and they're smarter, right? So it makes sense. But yeah, it's people that are heavy consumers, which is probably everybody.
So who sets the games in motion? Like who decides like, hey, let's predict if this is going to happen? Is that community generated, or is there folks who curate based on trends and set out, here's the like or dislike, or, bet on the future that this will happen? Who sets the stage for what the games look like? You
do. So it's a community aspect of that. So it's a self-serve model. You know what it's like? People post something on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube and everybody can see it and they share it with their friends. It's the same thing like that, where you go on and you create your own game by just asking a question, sharing it with your friends and your audience, and then everybody makes money and plays and has fun.
All right. So I can post, let's say, challenge the people that are connected or not connected to bet on whether, the ending of a show goes one way or the other. And then people participate on this, but who facilitates the rewards? How does that come together? How does that work?
You can do all that, and except if it's about the show called Westworld. Have you seen this show?
Yes, it repeats itself over and over.
This show is the only show that makes me feel so stupid. So if I see this show, I'm going to delete it. If I see that as a game, it's so complicated. But no, anybody. So
you reserve your cancel culture button for that show.
Just if it makes me feel extremely stupid. But no, it's what happens is if there's something like who's going to win the Oscars, we're all going to be sitting there watching it. And then we'll all know who won. So if Brad Pitt wins, we all see that. And then you, as the creator, the host of that game, that question, you just go back in, the app prompts you. It says, hey, it's time to pick who won, Brad Pitt. And you just click Brad Pitt. And then the software, the technology does the rest.
That is so cool.
So, John, quick question here. So I see that VersusGame, it's both for both the players themselves but also the creators, right? Please correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I'm getting based on what I'm looking at. So how does this if let's say that I'm a game creator, how do I go about getting into this prediction world?
So it all starts with coming up with a question, right? So you go on and you create your account and then you get to play. But if you want to create a game, which is basically just asking a question, like a prediction question, it's a self-serve model, just like Instagram. It's that easy and quick where you just go on there and take your phone, ask yourself, ask a question in a video or film something. And then you just press the date and time, and then it's live for 7 million people to see. And then you share it with your friends as well. And then it's a nice community effect. Anybody can play. And then you, as the creator, it's nice because you get a cut of our revenue. So for the first time ever, influencers and just anybody, even losers like me, can go and directly monetize their fan base and their followers in a fun, natural way. Because when's the last time you played a game with, you know, some celebrity or your favorite podcast, right, and made money with them too? So it's great for everybody.
Interesting. Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
So how do you go about determining that flow? Did you guys design that with some users' feedback? How did you get to creating the model the way it is today? Can you walk us through your process for identifying how to have these relationships take place and engagement take place that's unique to VersusGame?
Yeah, it's a great question. We have talked to many users. Really what we did is we came up with like an MVP model, right? And we launched it. Just quick and dirty and nasty and buggy and all that kind of stuff, just to see if it would resonate with an audience. And lo and behold, it did. But there was a lot of like ideas that people had. So over the 2 years we've been launched, you know, we have really gotten feedback from tens of thousands of people because, as you know, people are not shy, for good and bad. They will give their opinions and their perspective, and we listen to all that. And actually, all these ideas came from listening to our users and our players. They're the ones that said, hey, do this game versus that game, or this question versus that question. Who do you think is going to win this? All that stuff. And we couldn't keep up with it. And we said, you know what? Let's turn this into a self-serve model and get out of our own way and let's build it, get out of our own way and let them do their thing, and we'll just support them. And so that's what we've changed into last year.
So I've noticed in the user experience, it's very minimal clicks. I mean, you can play a lot of games in a very short period of times. Was that intentional? Is that sort of where the trends are? Short attention span, lots of consumption of information. How did that have any bearing on that? How did you guys determine what is the right ratio of how many times someone clicks before they move on to the next one? Are you trying to get them to consume as much as possible? Like, how did you come up with that?
Yeah, you know, we basically looked at how it's done by the professionals like Instagram and TikTok. It's all, and YouTube. It's all very short form video or in beautiful imagery. So what we did was we said, okay, we'll have that short form content, like those small short videos, put a game wrapper, game frame around it, and then just let people rifle through that, sift through what they like, what they don't like. And then we have our own algorithm that customizes or personalizes your experience. So if you're into, you know, F1, car racing, or soccer, you'll see more of that versus soccer, right? Things like that.
So how's that curation happening? Using what kind of algorithm? Is it just a basic, or using some kind of a AI learning platform based on people's trends of what they like or what they engage with?
Yeah.
How's that coming together?
It's all patent pending machine learning technology that does a few things. We create some of these. We have a market making, we're matching algorithms as well. But as far as the personalization engine, it's ML, it's machine learning. And there's a couple of ways to get in to do this as a user. You can actually just pick what categories you want to see, right? And or you can just start experiencing and playing. And so start playing some games. If you like, let's say it's all about music, then we'll notice that. And then if you start commenting on some or liking some, we'll notice that. And so we'll start bringing those to your feed to personalize it.
Cool. Yeah, we're not falling for it.
I think Carlos.
I just wanted to, you know, emphasize what I was saying.
Not on mute.
I'm the mute guy.
I like
I'm branding myself. I'm branding the mute guy. Yeah. So, John, tell me something. I'm curious about something in particular. It kind of tying into this phrase that I jokingly mentioned. You know, that I was going to put on a T-shirt. Knowledge should be rewarded. Okay, so let's start with that phrase. With that in mind, and of course, going back to VersusGame, VersusGame is about mostly, for the most part, the entertainment world, and maybe the gaming part, is, which is also cool. Now, considering knowledge should be rewarded, do you envision possibilities for platforms like VersusGames in other areas that might not be maybe entertainment related? Maybe, I don't know, maybe questions about business or about life or about medicine, about pretty much about anything. Do you envision applications of the VersusGame model in other spaces, in other verticals? I'm just wondering.
Gamifying learning, I like it.
Why not?
No, I mean, that's a big piece for us in our future. Right now, our first step into that is, we have plenty of games about stocks, companies, apps, weather. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I think eventually we want to tie into an organization or some kind of experience where, it could help gamify the actual learning of that one subject matter as well. But right now, you can absolutely go play. If you know about stocks, you can play games about stocks all day long, or create them about crypto, or anything like that. NFT. Yeah. So whatever you want, you can go create it, and then people will play.
So you can pretty much create your own world, right? And in that sense.
Yeah.
Or your okay, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. What better way to create your own and predict your own world by creating it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, John. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I can see it. It's you are creating content, but it's gamified content, but people actively participate and play along. So, there are also sponsors that are creating channels in this environment that are inciting that kind of challenges amongst fans or amongst customers. They are also participating. Is this a vehicle for brands to start to engage? Because that's the thing a lot of brands are trying to figure out. How can we engage with end users more, with customers more? And content is awesome, but actually having that feedback loop and actually engaging in this kind of environment could be really cool. Is your intent to offer this for brands to use it as a platform to engage with consumers as well in this gaming fashion, or they're doing it already?
Yeah, we intend to do that. It's a great question. We just added an amazing person to our team, Rob Holliber, who comes from this world. And here's what I envision. I've always wanted to do this with like a McDonald's or something. So if you know McDonald's, let me know. But how cool would it be? Because right now you see ads and they're pretty static and crappy, where it's like, oh, here it is. You have a burger and fries, right?
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Yeah. But how cool would it be to play a game about McDonald's? The question could be, how many pounds of potatoes will be sold in LA by Friday at noon? So all of a sudden, McDonald's ad turns actually into a game. So then people are like thinking of McDonald's, trying to do some math, trying to figure it out. And McDonald's gets all this feedback, and it's a win-win for everybody. So it turns the ad into a game itself, in a very bespoke, practice.
Yeah, I could totally see that. That's a huge opportunity. So any brands doing that now? Is that a more of a future initiative for you guys?
We are just starting right now with that. We're opening it up to brands right now.
All right. So if you're a B2C brand listening, this is like the ultimate engagement tool. I mean,
yeah.
Talk, and I would assume that it also creates quite a sticky type of community, right? Because if you're creating a way for people to be entertained and to participate in the co-creation of that entertainment and get rewarded for doing that, then there's more stickiness in terms of brand loyalties, I would think. I'd be curious to see how that plays out, because I think that's a great opportunity for you guys.
Yeah, I think we've done a big campaign, a big game around the Super Bowl. We're doing one with Maxim. We're doing one with Billboard around the Billboard Music Award show coming up in May. So 2020 sucked for most people, right? Let's face it. So it's about time someone comes out on top. So we've created these $1 million giveaway moments, basically. And again, it goes back to what we're trying to do, put real money in real people's pockets. So We're having a great moment around the Billboard Music Awards show. We're trying to give $1 million away. We have some celebrities tied into it. So it'll be really fun.
Absolutely. All right. So go ahead, Carlos. You got another question?
No, I was just gonna. It's a comment, actually. I mean, I'm looking at the website, the VersusGames' website, and I can see that it would be very easy for, at least for me, to just get hooked. Get addicted to it. It's like that I'm looking at the frequently asked questions, and I go, how do I get out of this thing after 2 years? It's just like, so. Quick question here that I just thought of regarding what I just said. What sort of well, you gave an example. You mentioned McDonald's, and you mentioned Bitcoin, blockchain, or any other categories. From your experience, what have you seen that people are more inclined towards playing, or what kind of questions are they asked? Are they inclined to asking, or what sort of industries or verticals or spaces? So I'd like to just get a glimpse of that, if possible, please.
Yeah, I want to answer that in two parts. Our biggest category that most people play for the last 2 years is around music, around songs. Right? And people are really passionate about songs. They can pick trends, like this person's going to be a huge hit. This song is massive, right? They love it. They're passionate about it. That's the biggest industry for us. But the other piece, the second part to that is it really depends on the influencer or the host asking the question, because we have things that are about news to, again, crypto to esports and sports. And it really ranges so widely because it's really a direct reflection of what's trending in the universe, right? So there's not one specific thing that's just like the most popular games. It's whatever's trending. People create games around that. And like the Jake Paul and versus Ben Askren fight this weekend, people are going off and creating a bunch of games around that. So it's just whatever's happening. Hey,
Bea, if you're listening, we can create a whole game to predict how many times Carlos is going to be on mute at the next show.
Exactly. There you have it. That's a moneymaker. Very easy.
I love it.
Speaking of moneymaker, how do you guys make money at this? Is it a traditional advertising model or more sponsorship sort of a thing where you're tying in the rewards with the advertisers? How's it working?
All of that. And in the main focus, the main channel is in-game or in-app purchases. Just like Pokemon or Angry Birds, you buy a pack of coins, you buy their virtual coins.
Right.
You use those coins on a really cool sword or something. Same thing here. You buy our coins and you use those coins on a prediction. That's all.
So, because one of the biggest challenges with a lot of gaming apps is conversion, right? They start the game, they get it for free, and they get so many features, and then they're all designed to get the end user to a point where they can convert to a subscriber, and that's the sort of the golden ticket, if you will. So with you guys, what I'm hearing is you've changed it to more, if you want certain features, you can just buy those tokens or what have you. So you have full access, but you can get enhancements with purchases. And can I use some of my rewards and transfer them into cash for those purchases? Is that interchangeable?
100%.
Pretty cool. I'm very impressed. I'm not a big gaming guy, but this sounds like a lot of fun. Look, I find myself always behind on pop culture stuff. Like, I don't know what's going on, but this could be a good way to know what's going on. It's gamifying, learning what's happening in the world out there besides business. All right, let's talk a little bit about the culture of the business. We're coming up on time. What has it been like building this? This is your fourth venture. No, this is your fifth venture. What's it been like building this? This is somewhat different, somewhat unique, a lot of fun. What's it been like for you building that, and what kind of people do you typically hire?
Yeah, we're pioneering something, so we need pioneers and killers on board and people with thick skin, because we're trying a bunch of stuff and half of it works, half it doesn't. Half the time we don't know why. Like all of that normal stuff, like real talk, right? And so the people are the biggest asset you have on your team. You can do anything with the right people. It's not what you know, it's who you know, 100%. And so, we've brought together an amazing team, from our core team to our investors, that really understand the big vision here, and they believe in it and they support us. I've never been involved in a company before in my life that has so much positive energy around it. So many people just proactively helping to try to make this work. This is going to happen. And so it's just extremely humbling for me to wake up every day and just be a small piece of it. It's awesome. I'm very excited because I want to put real money in real people's pockets. That's the whole goal.
That's awesome. So how soon are you going to get Gary V behind this thing? He seems to make everything he gets behind big. Like, this is like a big opportunity. Gary V, are you watching? Is he in this platform yet?
He is not.
Oh, how could you be behind this?
I don't know him. I'm a huge fan of him.
I thought Gary V was an innovator. What are you doing? You got to get on VersusGame now. Okay, so no, the question is, how are you actually attracting like influencers that can significantly increase the usage base? Is there a campaign you're working on, or there are a few people in the works that you're working with to make that happen, i.e. the Gary V's of the world?
Yeah, a bunch of it thus far has come in through our network of just investors and advisors. And then we recently brought on board Michael Moriarty and an amazing woman named Natalia, they come from the music world, very connected in the scene, and they're going out there to their friends and contacts and saying, hey, you got to get on this. And they're all their friends are famous musicians and influencers. So yeah, it's just showing people value. That's the key. If you have value, then they're interested. Then you just talk to them about it.
So what are some of the like awards or rewards that people can get?
It's all around money. So some people have been making hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, which is no joke for a lot of people. And for them to go make that much money from just knowing music or watching The Bachelor,
Oh wow, that's pretty significant. That's not just gaming; that's like an opportunity if you know stuff to get really rewarded. Yeah. All right, so we're coming up on time, John. This is your 5th venture. It sounds like a lot of fun. It's always cool to do something that's fun. What have you learned about yourself in this 5th entrepreneurial venture that you didn't in the past 4? Is there anything you'd like to share? Words of wisdom you'd like to share? What it's been like to build a business during quite a turbulent time worldwide. Any lessons you learned from that you'd like to share with other entrepreneurs? That'd be awesome to hear that if you can.
Yeah, I mean, wow, there's a lot. I'll try to bite size it up. I mean, timing's everything. I've learned a lot about patience and about letting go and getting out of my own way and not trying to control every little thing. Hiring, bringing on amazing people to the family that they're just smarter than you and better than you at what they do. And I'm constantly trying to learn as well. But yeah, I think it's about really starting a company is really about the people and just embracing the grind, committing to the grind, because it's an 8-day-a-week thing and you have to learn how to hate sleep. So.
Yes. So instead of grit and grace, it's grit and grind. That's the thing. No, thanks, John. It's been a pleasure to have you as our guest. We have high hopes for you guys. We'd love to have you back maybe sometime in the future. Hear some success stories. Obviously, the gaming component of this is a lot of fun, but there's potential for some gamifying learning, which is could be a big opportunity. The e-learning space is growing every day, and huge opportunities there for unique players that come and introduce things that have not been done before. So we wish you a lot of success. Thanks for being with us today. Carlos, what do we got coming up? We have 2 more shows this week, right?
2 more shows, Julio. Actually, tomorrow we have 2. We have Parag Shah, the Vice President of Wakefern Food Corporation. We're going to be speaking about grocery retail in the digital world. And then on the same day, but at 12 p.m. Pacific, we're going to be speaking with Chad Burggraff, the CTO of Dispoteca. And the topic is end-of-life IT equipment, security, responsibility, and convenience. And then finally, on Thursday, we're going to be having yet a third conversation with Tyler Birch, the CEO, no, hold on one second, the COO of Samaritan, a platform to help the less fortunate. So I look forward to that one too. And that's what we have, guys, for this week, right here on Dojo Live.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Stay tuned.
See you tomorrow morning.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.